Today I'm going to show you how to paint a realistic reflective foil balloon. It's an easy 4-step process, so follow along and I'll show you how. If you prefer watching a real-time lesson, then you can do that on my website. There's a link to the class in the video description. Step 1 is to get your color mixes correct. The balloon is shiny, so it reflects an image of its surroundings. The balloon, however, also has a color. In our example, the balloon has a rose gold color. This means that the colors reflecting in the balloon are going to be tinted or tinged with this rose gold color. We will call this our base color, and we want to start off by either mixing this color or choosing a similar color from our paint tubes. In my case, I've used Winsor & Newton Pale Rose Blush, but you could have mixed the same color using crimson, yellow ochre and white. You then use this base color to mix the rest of the colors you see in the balloon. In other words, each of your color mixes will have some of this base color in them. The paints I used to mix all my colors for the painting were titanium white, crimson, yellow ochre, raw umber and Payne's grey. With the colors mixed, you can move on to step number 2. Step 2 is to block in the correct colors at the correct places. To do this, I've started off with a soft filbert brush and roughly plotted out the position of each color on the balloon. As you can see here, tilting the balloon even just a little bit dramatically changes what the reflections in the balloon look like. As a result, you don't have to work 100% accurate with regards to the positioning of the objects reflecting in the balloon. As I block in these colors though, I do look out for their shapes. The balloon is round, so the shapes of the objects reflecting in the balloon will distort due to the roundness of the balloon. As an example of that is the black rectangular shape on the left. The photo of this balloon was taken in a bedroom. The black rectangular shape on the left is a TV mounted on the wall. You can now see how the shape of the balloon has dramatically distorted the reflection of the TV. Getting these distortions correct is important as they create the illusion of the balloon being round. In general, you will notice the distortions going radially outward on the front face of the balloon, and on the sides of the balloon, the distortions will follow the contour of the balloon. With the colors blocked in, we can clean off the brush and move to step 3, which is the blending phase. You may have noticed that the reference photo I've been working from up to this point has been out of focus. And I've done this for a reason. During the block-in and the blending stages, we are only interested in recreating the shape of the balloon, so getting rid of the detail stops us from getting bogged down with those details too soon. All we are interested in now is looking at the transitions between each of the colors that we have blocked in. If they blend together slowly, we want to do the same on the canvas. Likewise for quick transitions. The Mylar foil doesn't reflect a perfectly sharp image like a normal mirror does. You will notice that the reflection is slightly blurry. This makes our life a lot easier because it means we can do all the blends quickly. For the blending stage, I have moved over to using a soft filbert brush. I then blend one transition at a time, cleaning the brush on my roll of paper towel between blends. You don't need to wash the brush between blends. Wiping off the excess paint on the paper towel is good enough. With the colors blended, we can go over to using the original in focus reference photo. For step 4, we will use a fine liner brush because this stage is all about getting the full details in. As the balloon inflates, the flat surface bends and contorts, forming lots of little creases in the foil. We will now need to paint all those creases. The creases either create a deep fold, like in the top central area, or they form a ribbed effect, as you can see on the sides of the balloon. On the face of the balloon, there are also ribbed areas, but these ribs are very shallow. So to paint them, we add squiggled lines where two colors meet. The line you paint looks almost like a heart rate monitor as it distorts to the ups and downs of the wrinkles. For more pronounced ribs, you will notice that they have a darker and a lighter side. You paint these two colors in next to each other and then gently blend the transitions. For a deep fold, you paint the fold line using the darkest color and then fade that line away to each side, and this makes the fold look like it rounds out to each side. There's also a seam running around the outside edge of the balloon. This seam folds over on itself, creating a very dark silhouette at various places on the edge of the balloon. Paint in the seam, then reflect it into the balloon using a lighter version of the seam color. With the balloon complete, I added a cast shadow onto the wall. This adds depth to the painting as it makes the balloon look like there is some distance between itself and the wall. For the cast shadow, I used a very tiny amount of Payne's Grey to dry brush on some of the color in that area. I then cleaned the brush, picked up some white paint and then blended that into the grey, ensuring the outside edges are faded away. The shadow was then gradually darkened in the central area to add more depth, making sure to not lose my faded edges. Please remember to like and subscribe so I can inform you when I create a new class. Good luck with your painting. Remember that there are hundreds of real-time painting and drawing classes available on my website. There's a link to them in the description below. If you have painted this tutorial, please tag me on Instagram. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.